The city of Arkham had always been a place shrouded in darkness, but it was also my home. I was no stranger to the eerie tales of the occult that surrounded the city, the whispered stories of eldritch horrors lurking just beyond the veil of reality. I was a detective, tasked with solving the most enigmatic and inexplicable cases. Little did I know that one case would plunge me into a nightmarish world where reality and madness intertwined. It all began with a series of gruesome murders. The victims, all found in the seedy underbelly of Arkham, had one thing in common: they had each received a mysterious tarot card in the days leading up to their deaths. The card depicted a sinister jester, a malevolent grin etched onto his face, and it sent shivers down my spine. The locals called him the Joker. The first murder scene was a nightmare. I arrived to find the lifeless body of a young woman, her face contorted in terror. The room was adorned with eerie symbols, and the tarot card lay at her feet, its sinister gaze seemingly following me. It was as if the Joker himself had left his mark on the crime scene. As I delved deeper into the investigation, I became obsessed with uncovering the truth behind these brutal murders. The more I learned, the more I realized that the line between the real and the surreal was blurring. I couldn't escape the feeling that I was being watched, that some malevolent presence was lurking just out of sight. One fateful night, as I was piecing together the evidence in my dimly lit office, a chilling sensation swept over me. The room seemed to shift, and I found myself in a different place altogether. I was now standing in a derelict and twisted version of Arkham, a place where the laws of reality no longer apply. The buildings leaned at impossible angles, and the sky overhead was a maddening swirl of colors. The tarot cards that had haunted the crime scenes now littered the ground, each one bearing the same sinister image of the Joker. It was as if I had stepped into a realm of pure chaos and madness. The sound of maniacal laughter echoed through the nightmarish landscape, and I knew that the Joker was near. I turned to see him standing on a nearby rooftop, his grotesque grin wider and more malevolent than ever. His eyes bore into my soul, and I felt a wave of dread wash over me. With a flourish, he produced a tarot card from thin air and tossed it in my direction. The card twisted and contorted in midair, and as it landed at my feet, it revealed a terrifying image, an exact replica of my own face, twisted in terror. The Joker's laughter filled the air, and he spoke in a voice that was both mocking and seductive. He claimed that I was now part of his nightmarish game, that I had crossed a threshold from which there was no return. I was trapped in his realm of madness, and he was the puppet master pulling the strings. Desperate to escape, I reached for the tarot card, hoping it held the key to my freedom. But as I touched it, a searing pain shot through my hand, and I recoiled in agony. The card had marked me, and I realized that I was now a part of the Joker's sinister deck. With each step, I moved further into the nightmare, the boundaries between reality and madness dissolving. I encountered grotesque, nightmarish visions, each more horrifying than the last. The Joker's presence was a constant, his malevolent laughter echoing through the surreal landscape. As time lost all meaning, I came to a twisted realization. The only way to escape the Joker's realm was to confront him, to challenge the master of this nightmarish world. With a newfound determination, I sought him out, knowing that our showdown would be a battle of wits and willpower. Finally, I found him, standing in the center of a deranged carnival. His grin widened, and he produced a tarot card from his deck, tossing it into the air. The card twisted and contorted, revealing a grotesque image of his own face, twisted in madness. With a sudden burst of resolve, I lunged at the Joker, grappling with him in a nightmarish dance of death. Our struggle seemed to stretch into eternity, a clash of wills and sanity. In the end, it was not physical strength that prevailed, but the power of my own mind. I wrested the tarot card from the Joker's grasp, and in that moment, his power waned. The surreal landscape crumbled, and I found myself back in my dimly lit office, gasping for breath. The tarot card lay on my desk, its sinister image a chilling reminder of the nightmarish battle I had fought. The murders ceased, and the Joker's presence faded into obscurity. I had survived his nightmarish game, but the scars on my psyche remained. The line between reality and madness had blurred, and I couldn't shake the feeling that the Joker's malevolence still lingered, waiting to ensnare the unsuspecting. As I recount this tale, I can only hope that others will heed the warning. Beware the allure of the unknown, for in the darkness of Arkham, the Joker's malevolence lurks, ready to ensnare those who dare to venture into his world of madness.